I think we should talk about the elephant in the room and the most obvious thing in the potential of Scarecrow the Reaping.
I want to see like how Murdy's been doing those Monstros houses, but I want to see something like from different cultures.
I don't want to see Monstros 3.
Right. And
Watching Haunt Talk with your host Scott from Exploring Attractions and Rob from The Howling Hour, home for all things scary and spooky related.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Haunt Talk, episode 27. I'm one of your hosts, Scott from Exploring Attractions.
And I am the other one of your hosts, Rob from The Howling Hour.
And welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to Haunt Talk, the spooky podcast, where today we're talking about a very exciting topic that may interest a lot of you, because in today's video, we are doing a Halloween Horror Nights 2025 update for Universal Studios Hollywood. There's tons of rumors out there, Rob.
Yes, there is. I like it and I don't, because you know what? Just take me back. Not so much take me back, but like I remember the days, I would say maybe before 2016, 17, where I just went into things blank and didn't know what was going on. It was just kind of like, oh, I didn't know anything. When I got there, it was a surprise. And now, but just being in this world, but this part's also fun too. All the updates, all the speculations, just everything that people think is going to come, or they're hoping that's going to come, and just seeing the builds and construction updates. Very, very exciting times.
Yeah. And it's cool because, there's a lot of things, like if you're on the internet, you know that most likely the lineup is going to get put out there in some form or fashion. And we'll kind of touch up on my thoughts on that and everything. But it is different. It's a different vibe now, because there used to be code names that Murdy used to tweet out from the official Horror Nights account before they took it away from him. And people would kind of break down these code names. Now it just feels like more rumors and everything. However, it makes it fun, I guess, for everybody, in the sense of like everyone gets to kind of get excited for what is potentially going to come for HHN. So people can really start planning their things based off of rumors and stuff. But episode 27. If you're new here, please hit that subscribe button with those bell notifications on. Check out all of our social accounts down below. And if you're listening on Spotify, hello, welcome. Please check out all of our accounts as well and give Spotify a follow, because we are available on different streaming platforms for audio only. But I kind of wanted to touch up on the fact that we are going to be talking about some rumors, some very obvious rumors, but these are just rumors and speculation. Nothing is confirmed. Y'all, I see a lot of people out there saying, this is confirmed, this is guaranteed coming, and blah, 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 blah. No, Universal has not confirmed any haunted house at all. So just, I want you guys to understand that, coming from mine and Rob's point of view, that we don't talk about stuff as confirmed. We talk about stuff as rumors. So that's just that being said. Also, I feel like we apologize every single episode, but I am in the middle of wedding planning. My wedding is literally, without giving the date away, it's coming up. It's this month. So Rob and I, well, I mean, obviously I'll be there, but Rob will be there too. So we have been like focusing on the wedding planning. So it's been hard to start filming episodes, but during the summer, trust me, there will be episodes and stuff like that. But yeah, with that being said, let's get into it, and apologies in advance if you hear random rustling. I have a new dog who...
Very cute dog, I might add. Very cute dog. I have
two dogs. Yeah, I have two dogs now, but the other one is PR trained. The other one knows how to stay calm and quiet. This one doesn't, so he's on the bed right now, just licking his foot right now, but we'll see how the whole podcast runs. I think we should talk about the elephant in the room and the most obvious thing in the potential of Scarecrow the Reaping returning.
Okay.
Now, I saw this a couple of days ago, the facade, and the facade looks identical to what the construction was back in 2022. Like, it really does look identical. So kind of give me your thoughts on Scarecrow, man.
Again, speculation, rumor. This is not confirmed, but yes, definitely the facade, the skeleton of it looks very familiar to the last Scarecrow we had, which was, you said 2022 if I'm not mistaken. I'm old with my memory, but you know what? I'm okay with it. I do think it's a little soon from the last time we had it, but I'm not complaining because for me, that year. I believe I had it either one or two as far as my top mazes or houses that year. And also I think my mind just kind of wandered a little bit, and I said, you know what, it's really good kind of cross promotion, because we have was it Horror Unleashed in Vegas coming out, and they're gonna have their Scarecrow house over there. And I don't think, from what I've heard, I don't think it's gonna be like what we had. It's gonna be kind of like a spin-off almost. So I think it's if it does come, it's good kind of cross promotion to be like, oh hey, like we have this one over here and we have this one in Hollywood, like come check. If you go through Hollywood, maybe that'll inspire people, or kind of get people excited to go out to Vegas to check that one out, because at least here in LA and Southern California, Vegas isn't too far away. It's about I'd say like a 4-hour drive.
Yeah, 4-hour drive. It's pretty quick.
Yeah.
And I will say, to touch up on the storyline, it is interesting because a lot of people were speculating, oh, this could be a lot like Orlando's, and we're hoping it's a lot more like Orlando's, because they're going to go really heavy on scenic design in Horror Unleashed. But the storyline is actually going to be the exact same.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
So the storyline for Hollywood, at least, is it's set during the 1930s Dust Bowl era, and it's depicted an abandoned Depression-era farm where nature embodied by vengeful scarecrows and crows. And that is kind of what Murdy talked about during his panel at Midsummer Scream, really talking about that Dust Bowl inspiration. Yeah. The facade is it's a farmhouse, obviously. It's a really decrepit farmhouse. There are crows all over on the top. There's this old car next to it, and obviously we haven't really seen the details as far as the new details for 2020 or for 2025, but we can kind of get an idea of what the facade is supposed to look like in its final form. And like I said, yes, it is going to be essentially the exact same plot in Vegas as it is in Hollywood. Will it be the exact same house? No, not at all. There's definitely going to be an increase in detail for the Vegas location, which makes me interested as to, it doesn't make me question why they're bringing it back. It kind of makes me question okay, what plans do they have for promoting? Because obviously the only reason, or I don't want to say the only reason, but one of the big reasons for them bringing this back, hopefully this year, is to cross promote with Vegas.
Right.
That's one of the big reasons, I think. And it's going to be called Scarecrow the Reaping. It was one of the most fan favorite haunted houses ever, not alone just in 2022 at Universal Studios Hollywood. So it is a little bit soon. I will agree with you. However, this is one that I'm okay with coming back. It's one of those things that I'm not upset by it.
Right.
When they brought back Killer Clowns, I wasn't upset by it because Killer Clowns was such a fun house.
Right, and I think Scarecrow the Reaping was such a highly praised house that you're not going to get, at least in my opinion, you're not going to get too much pushback against it, because
not a bunch of people griping.
Yeah, because it was so good. I could see if there was maybe a more, a lot of complaints about it, or people had issues with it. But no, for the most part, a lot of the people I've talked to, Scarecrow the Reaping was one of their, they had it in their top 3. So, I said, a little soon, but you know what? I'm not going to complain because it was a really great house.
I want to give a full ownership right to our buddy John from the Haunt Line. He's calling it Scarecrow the Repeat. So, yeah, I really like that. That's pretty funny. Nice. Scarecrow the Repeat, everybody. But yeah, and there's a lot of different construction photos that our buddy from the horror, the Entertainment Connection, I should say, / the Horror Connection, and TLAV Media, they have been kind of breaking down different scenes and stuff from what they've seen. So make sure you check them out because they do a good breakdown of construction. But yeah, it looks like Scarecrow the Reaping may be coming back. Nothing confirmed yet, but it's looking, I'd say 90% certain that it will be coming back, unless they're tricking all of us and they're just using that same base for the facade, and it's not actually going to be that facade, but it looks pretty freaking close. So yeah, I'm excited for it. I'm excited for a couple of different scenes. They had the dining room, they had the bar, they had the big cornfield finale where there's a scarecrow, or not a scarecrow, but like a big giant bird scarecrow mixture with
Right,
glowing
right.
red eyes. And it wasn't a stilt walker. It was like in between a stilt walker and a regular actor. So it was still taller, just not extremely tall as you typically see in like a scare zone
One
experience.
thing,
So
just speaking of that specific like kind of scare, this character, I really
mhm.
liked the because I remember walking through it and they did where they were really low and then they came
Yeah,
up
yeah,
really high really fast, and I just thought that was like a really cool kind of scare. As you got closer to them, they kind of raised up and it was just kind of like towering over you because like you said, not
right,
quite a
right.
stilt walker, but definitely,
Mhm.
not just on regular height level with the
Yeah,
guests.
yeah. Yeah, it's cool, and like this is definitely like for all the years that I've been going to horror nights. This is one of the scariest houses I've ever been
Oh,
in
for
for
sure,
sure.
for sure.
Yeah, the amount of, and I won't give too much away for those of you guys who are going for the first time and haven't seen Scarecrow back in 2022, but the amount of clever scares that they do compared to your typical boo holes are pretty impressive. So
Oh yeah.
I'm would be very excited for it to come back. And typically, I mean, other than Texas Chainsaw, because that was a new house, but years prior before that, that location didn't really have a long line. So I am perfectly okay with it not having a long line and me running marathons through Scarecrow the Reaping. Because like that's honestly what makes me excited is like when they bring back these repeat houses, they're not as busy as they were the first year.
Right.
So like I get a chance to go through and run through a bunch of times, like Holidays in Hell. I ran through that I think 10 times when they brought it back. So
Dang.
that makes me excited, to be honest. So
You
that's
literally,
no,
literally were running marathons in there.
yeah, that's nowhere near compared to some of those Orlando locals maze counts. Those Orlando, I mean, I'm sure there's Hollywood people who do it too, but those Orlando locals, man, they'll run through houses like 100 times.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's a wild. I do not. I think I could max out like at 15. So, but any more thoughts on Scarecrow the Reaping before we move on?
No, no, just again, kind of echoing what you're saying.
Yeah.
I'm not mad that it's coming back.
Yeah. And one thing that is more so kind of a rumor right now, a rumor that most people are excited about, but nothing really leads us to believe. I've seen some facade work and some construction photos posted about it being similar to something, but we'll kind of just talk about it in the grand scheme of things
Okay.
of a property that everyone's been talking about a lot right now, and that is Art the Clown Terrifier. Terrifier has been a huge rumor for Horror Nights this year, and it was a rumor last year. However, this year there seems to be a lot more truth to it in the sense of how much people are talking about it.
Okay.
So, I mean, I think we have two different takes on Terrifier. So, kind of give me your take on Terrifier.
You know what? I'm okay with it. If it does come, I'm okay with it. I think Art the Clown has become, and I think a pretty fast time has become a horror icon.
Hmm.
So I really don't have an issue with Art, the Terrifier. If we get a Terrifier house, it's not my cup of tea, but I do think it's got a really a huge following. Art's got
Hmm.
a Terrifier and Art the Clown have a huge following. So if it does come, I think it'll be a good house. I think it's
Yeah.
um I think I'm trying to remember if I saw the second one. I didn't see the third one. I saw the first one.
Okay.
But again, not my cup of tea, but I will definitely go
Yeah.
through it. I like the design of Art, with that kind of gore, but also he's got that sense of humor. So,
Hmm.
I would like to see what they do if it does come to HHN.
Yeah. I can't say I'm really like extremely excited for the gore aspect of
Yeah,
it. I
right,
think that
right,
the storytelling for Terrifier has been really strong, especially how it started off as like a B horror movie.
right.
It's very cheesy, very like it's just a cheesy horror movie, whereas now it's more like a mainstream media type of movie that is very popular. And yes, Art the Clown has gotten an extremely big following in the recent years, especially with Terrifier 2 and Terrifier 3.
Yeah,
So I can see why HHN would want to bring this as a house. Now, we all know Murdy loves doing his gore houses with Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That was one of the goriest houses I've ever seen. For me, I just don't do the gore.
Right.
Like, I'm a big horror fan, but I don't like that genre of horror as much. Like, I don't like your Texas Chainsaw Massacre, your Hostel movies, your Saw movies, stuff like that. Like, I enjoy watching them for the storyline, but the gore aspect, I'm not really a huge fan of.
Right.
So, I am excited to see Art the Clown, because I think Art the Clown is such a cool character and such like a funny, humorous character. But I'm not excited for the gore aspect if it does come. It's just a different sign or a different side of the horror genre. Yo, what's going on, bud? I'm telling y'all, he's not PR trained yet. But
he'll learn. He'll learn.
Yeah, he'll learn. But yeah, like I'll be excited regardless. And it'll probably be a very strong house if it does happen.
Oh yeah, like I was, and that goes to kind of what I don't have an issue so much like with gore. It's not. I like story. I like design, stuff like that. Houses that have a lot of gore. I'm like, it's cool, whatever. It's just, because typically they come with smells, and I'm just like, it stinks. Right. But I do think Art has earned his way into those horror icon kind of status. So I am, and I do think it will be a very, very popular house.
Right.
Maybe a 2-hour wait. On the busy nights. So.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because just based off of what I see on social media and TikToks and all that stuff, Art's Terrifier is popular. So I can only imagine that people will that's going to be a drawing point if it does come. For people who maybe, Horror Nights is whatever, but then they see, they're bringing the Terrifier. Let's go check it out. So definitely, can't complain when you bring people to an event I love. I want to see it succeed.
And I think that, because there's another rumor out there about Five Nights at Freddy's. That's been a rumor for a long time. It got really strong last year as well. We're not going to dive into that today, but if that were to happen and Terrifier were to happen, then HHN will unlock a new audience and be more popular than ever.
Oh, yeah.
So definitely lots of talking points there.
Oh,
but
for sure.
Yeah, I should say I'm not really excited as much if Terrifier were to come.
Okay.
I'm excited for Art the Clown to come. That's my big thing. Like, if we could see Art the Clown in Scare Zone, that'd be really cool.
Okay, so I feel like you would be more like if he was like just kind of walking around somewhere, you'd be like, there's Art, let's go. Like kind of how we see La Llorona.
Because don't get me wrong, the special effects and stuff like that they're gonna be able to do with some of the kills from the movies is gonna be insane.
Right.
Incredible. It's just not for me.
Right.
Yeah. So that's my take on it. I never really enjoyed the Saw houses as much. I enjoy seeing Billy the Puppet and the Pig Mask, but I don't really enjoy the whole trap thing.
Right.
Gives me a little bit of anxiety feeling. So
understandable.
But I guess that's what HHN is supposed to be. I don't want you guys to think that I'm complaining. That's just my take on it.
Oh yeah, and that's why I say there's I know people who won't go through like a house at HHN or anywhere for that matter, not just HHN, but Knott's, or because of the gore factor, or maybe a supernatural factor that a property has, just different things. But that's why
I mean, some people don't even go through The Exorcist because they're so afraid of like that possession.
Right.
They have superstition about it.
Completely understandable, but that's why there's so many things, if people go and they go through one, if they go and they're like, I'm only going to go through this house and that's it, then you know what? Good on you. More power to you.
Exactly. Like, by all means, stay in that 2-hour wait. But another kind of facade type of deal here that is really making people think that this house also could be coming. Another returning house in Poltergeist. Ooh. Poltergeist from 2018. Now, this facade is located in the Curious George lot / H lot where Insidious was last year. And I definitely can say that the facade does look very similar to the Poltergeist house back in 2018. However, this one is a lot less telling than the potential Scarecrow one down at the T-pad. There's a couple of different like details and framework that I'm like, okay, it looks a little bit different, but it looks also very similar to Poltergeist. Did you get a chance to walk through Poltergeist?
I did. I did get a chance to walk through it. I enjoyed it. It was very. I feel like it was the scenes were very true to the movie,
Right.
which is why I enjoyed it. There's things I think could be improved upon, but overall, scenically, I thought the house was really good scenically.
Yeah, this house would follow, or it did follow, the Freeling family, I think that they're called. And the facade is the Freeling house. And this house, for spoiler alert, if you guys haven't watched the movie, but this house is built above a cemetery, essentially. So you can see what happens
Right.
from there, to be honest. There's a fun line at the end of this house where they're talking about how they remove like the tombstones or something, and I forget what the exact line is. I'll have to think about it. But basically, he's like, "You son of a bitch," and that was playing nonstop at the end of the house. I will say, not that this relates at all or anything, but the Orlando house was absolutely incredible. There's a scene where you're kind of walking in a different dimension, and you're walking through a bunch of cloth pieces and everything, and then the clown comes out. That is one of my favorite scenes in the Hollywood house from back in 2018, is that clown scene.
Yeah.
Is seeing him jump out at people. I thought that was really freaking cool. And I really enjoyed Poltergeist from 2018. There were a lot of people who judged it because of the infamous black walls, which I can honestly say, yeah, there were a lot of black walls.
Yeah.
And they really need to improve on that if they're going to bring Poltergeist back. They need to get rid of the black walls. Because without the black walls, the house was absolutely incredible. It followed the movie perfectly, and I really enjoyed it a whole lot.
So sometimes I don't. I guess it's just, I don't know if it's my bias or how my mind works when I go through houses. But sometimes the black walls are more noticeable for me.
Yeah.
And other times I'm just like, you know what? I feel like that was a scene. And now I'm walking through to another scene kind of thing. So I don't know. Like I'm like flip a coin with black walls for me. Like sometimes I'm like, whatever. And sometimes I'm like, man, it really kind of took me out of my mindset of like going from a scene, then a black walls, and scene. So I don't know. I'm up in the air with that.
Yeah. And I think that like definitely like that transitional thing of them like using it as transitions and everything is really beneficial in some way. But with Poltergeist, it just seemed like there is a big scene and then a black wall.
Right.
And there's a big scene and a black wall. So that's where I hope that if they do bring Poltergeist back, that will change a lot.
I'll say this. Like, I mean, like just an example for me, like Poltergeist, black walls, noticeable. Trick or Treat, black walls, didn't really notice.
Yeah, because they used them as boohole scares.
Right.
Like it was like a one quick boohole scare and then right to the next scene.
Right.
I guess there's a difference between black walls and black hallways.
Yeah, there you go.
You know, like for example, Eternal Bloodlines had a lot of black hallways versus just a quick transitional scene of like a boohole and then back to the next scene.
Right.
That's kind of the best way we can explain it.
There you go.
But yeah. So Poltergeist, yeah, I mean that facade looks very similar. Will it happen? Who knows? Okay, so those are kind of the rumors, like the big major rumors right now. I kind of want to get your thoughts because I have my wishful thinking that I've seen, you know, based on speculation too. But what are some things that, oh my goodness, what are some things that you want to see this year?
Oh man, I've seen spec maps and rumor stuff, and some of them I'm okay with, or not so much okay with. Some of them I'm like, oh yeah, I wish but I really want to see Scream. I don't know, there was a couple of symbols and a few of the the maps I've seen where I'm just like, oh man, could that be Scream? So I would really like an Orlando original from over there to come over here. I really like what they've done with that because obviously we've gotten Scarecrow from over there, so I like
Right.
that.
Yeah.
You know, okay, so I want to see Scream. I don't, you know, I kind of, I want to see, I want to see like how Murdy's been doing those Monstros houses,
Yeah.
you know, like, you know, just like the Latin kind of like, you know, lore and stuff. But I want to see something that's a different, like from different cultures. You know,
I
maybe,
agree.
yeah, like
Yeah,
some kind of like,
I think like I still think that they're gonna go with Latin America,
yeah,
but I need them to get away from the Monstros theme. Like I don't know how they're gonna do it. Maybe a repeat standalone El Cocoy house or
yeah.
something, but like get away from just the and it works, but I don't want to see Monstros 3.
Right, right. And see, and I want to see something like maybe they. And again, you know, forgive me for if not knowing, you know, everyone's culture and you know the
Right.
lore of that. But like, I would like
Yeah.
to see something maybe like in the pyramids, like you know, we go through a pyramid,
Yeah.
like in
Yeah.
Egypt or something, you know, or even like the Amazon, you know, like the Lost City of Z or
Yeah. That'd be
something along
cool.
those lines. I think it would be really cool. So, but you know, I think we are. I think Monstros is probably going to come back, at least some form of it. And I'm sure it'll be good. You know, I've enjoyed those houses, but definitely Scream is high on my list. I don't know if we're gonna get
Right.
it, but you know, fingers crossed.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that like it's I think Scream is gonna be one of those things that like will be a big wishful thing,
Right.
and then when it eventually happens, everyone will lose their marbles about it.
I'll be
But
right there too.
yeah, yeah, yeah. One rumor that has been talked about a lot this year is WWE.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's a lot of talk about Uncle Howdy and the Wyatt Six. Really have not been getting a lot of TV time because I think Bo Dallas, which is Uncle Howdy, he is injured right now.
Yeah.
So I don't see if they were to bring this to life. I'm sure there would be some tie-in, but I don't think that'd be the only thing. I think it'd kind of be like the horrors of WWE.
Yeah.
But for those of you guys who don't know wrestling, and for those of you guys who are like, well, how would that work? There is a lot of lore there, and it seems like this rumor is there's some, how do you say it? There's some truth to this rumor that we've seen a lot because lots of people usually when people talk about these rumors a whole bunch, it means that there's close to truth to them. Because if they talk about a rumor once and then it kind of drops off, then
Yeah.
we know that there's really not too much truth to them. So, and WWE has kind of sticked around. So there's the Undertaker, which I'm sure if people have even watched WWE at all, even when they were kids, they know who the Undertaker is.
Right.
So definitely, I want to see that happen because I would be so freaking excited seeing that. Like that would be so cool. Another thing, like you kind of said, like an Orlando original, I would love to see Slaughter Cinema
Yeah.
eventually make its way to Halloween Horror Nights here in Hollywood. I think Slaughter Cinema would thrive here with the tie-in to
sure.
the old kind of Hollywood movies that they have here. Jack the Clown, obviously, I would love to see Jack the Clown eventually make his way here, especially with them opening HHN Vegas. Jack the Clown and Chance the Clown will both be featured in Horror Unleashed, so they need to do some cross promotion there. Will this year be the year? Who knows? I think that'd be really cool as well. But those are just kind of like my toss-ups as far as what I would like to see and like wishful thinking as far as what could be coming to HHN 2025 in Hollywood this year.
You know, and I don't know where it would fit in, but just one thing too, and you know, this is nothing. Like no one said this except I've been the only one to say it. There's no rumors about it, but I'd really like to see. I don't know how it'd work in a house, but maybe like on the Terror Trammer or even a Scare Zone, like Squid Games.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Just some sort of like feature or something. Like
Yeah.
obviously, like you said, it wouldn't be like a house or anything, but just some feature, like maybe like a not a scare zone, but kind of a moment.
Yeah.
Let's just say. I think that's what they called them with like when you had the bride meet and greet that one year,
Right.
and you had a couple different meet and greets. Like we could do like a meet and greet with the guards or something. That'd
Yeah.
be cool. That's
I
a
think that'd be
random
pretty
toss
cool.
up, but I mean, why not? You
Yeah.
know? So, or who knows? FanFest nights. We have a bunch of stuff now that
Yeah.
could be considered not scary, but now could work at FanFest nights in the future. There's going to be FanFest night speculation soon, which will be exciting.
It's never going to end. Speculations all year round.
I would love to see Godzilla. Imagine like a Godzilla puppet, the same way they did Xanathar in Dungeons and Dragons. That would be sick.
I'd like to see like a Jurassic Park. Like,
oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean they have the rights to it.
Yeah, and like imagine the possibility. I think it's evident now with how popular Back to the Future is that they're going to do Back to the Future 2. Like they have to.
Yeah.
Because right now it's just Back to the Future 1, and if they do the Back to the Future 2, which was also filmed in Courthouse Square, it's going to be even more popular.
Oh, for sure.
So, but that's kind of our touch-up on HHN rumors and our HHN update today. If you guys have any ideas, let us know in the comments section. And if you're new here, please hit that subscribe button. Check out our social accounts, all that fun stuff. It has been a fun episode. We're going to take a 10-minute break, and then we're going to film another episode with a special guest, which will be fun. Never ending. So we decided to film back-to-back episodes. That way we don't leave you guys with a whole month of nothing. Because we got the wedding coming up, and then after that we're gonna go full steam ahead. I've got Disneyland's 70th to cover. There's just so much stuff that I need to get caught up on.
Busy man. That's
right, man. So, and then I'm sure we'll get an HHN announcement soon, because once Epic Universe dies down and once FanFest Nights dies down, well, there's only one other focus, and that's Halloween Horror Nights. So,
yep.
We'll see. My name is Scott from Exploring Attractions.
And I am Rob from the Howling Hour.
And you've been watching Haunt Talk. That has been episode 27. We'll catch you guys in the next one. Remember to keep exploring and join the pack. Peace out, everybody.